2022 has been an unpredictable but eventful year to many, including Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The Beijing Winter Olympics was overshadowed by a chained woman whose identity mixed up caused a national outcry. Xi's best friend is becoming more of a liability to him. Omicron posed a huge political threat. The Chinese economy is on the brink of collapsing. Li Qiang, Xi's choice for his next premier, is losing to the Zhen faction amid the disastrous Shanghai lockdown. And rumors of Xi stepping down, having cancer and brain disease, are being spread inside and outside China. Xi has 6 months left before a possible third term. Any plans he had before this point have become obsolete. What's Xi's new game plan? Hello everyone, I'm Lei. Welcome to my show. After Russia invaded Ukraine, the possibility of a war that involves major world powers suddenly became a reality. People are also staying alert to the moves of the Chinese Communist regime and its ambitions to take over Taiwan. With a struggling economy, escalating public resentment, and intensifying political infighting, the Chinese leadership is sending out conflicting messages mixed with rumors. Let's look at some of the unusual developments. Internet discussions show that the Nanning city in Guangxi province recently has quietly ordered the recall and destruction of mini-sized Xi Jinping books. The official media in Guangxi have now removed all web pages that promoted the Xi pocketbook. The so-called pocketbook refers to a series of books by Xi Jinping that were published by the propaganda department of the Nanning municipal government this February. The design of the book is said to be similar to Mao's Little Red Book during the Cultural Revolution. Some China experts use this as evidence of Xi losing power. I think the matter is more complex than what meets the eye. Let me assure you, no CCP government official would dare to destroy books by a party leader, past or present. Nobody would risk their political career doing this, unless it's a mandate. So who ordered the destruction of Xi's book? Xi's enemy? No. As much as they want to, they're not stupid. It could only come from one person, Xi Jinping himself. You might say that's crazy. Why would Xi want to destroy his own books? Isn't he trying to establish himself as the second Mao? Hasn't he steered China back to Mao's days for the past year? No, that's what Xi Jinping's enemies want us to believe. It's a trap that Xi has fallen into, and he's trying to get out of it. On March 1st, 2022, the Iron Blood Community, a famous Chinese online platform for the 50 Cent Party and angry youth, was permanently closed. Also, on May 18th, multiple social media accounts of Sailei, an ultra-red, pro-CCP mainland animation media, was banned. The multi-platform media has a total of 5 million followers and was banned for 1 year. The account published videos and commentaries that support Russia's aggression against Ukraine and attack the United States and other democratic countries. The suspension sent shockwaves to the Little Pink and Wu Mao community. They wondered what happened to the party. That brings us to our protagonist. Xi Jinping is not a visionary. His quote-unquote political achievements of the past 10 years were shaped by the CCP's internal political infighting and by the propaganda created by the Jiang Zemin faction. Xi's political enemies have defined who Xi Jinping is today, his success and his failure. Mao Zedong ruled China based on his absolute power. Deng Xiaoping ruled China based on his control of the military and the decision to lift China out of poverty. After joining the WTO and during Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao's time, the communists discovered that their authoritarian power plus Western capital gave them more advantages. With that, corruption and bribes became the driving force that propelled Chinese society. By the time Xi came to power, the relentless anger for money and power and the inequitable distribution of it within the CCP had already corrupted the system. Xi rose to power not because of his vision, but because of his middle-of-the-road approach. He was not a hardcore leftist as media describes him now. It was the coup attempt against him by Bo Xilai and Jiang Zemin that kick-started his anti-corruption campaign. Xi's defensive, self-protective measure in the brutal CCP jungle has become his biggest political legacy. After 5 years of relentless battle, the Jiang faction asked for leniency, and Xi compromised. That proved to be a big mistake. He made another mistake by promoting Wang Huning, a Jiang faction member, to the Politburo Standing Committee at the 19th National Congress in 2017. Having worked in Zhongnanhai for over 25 years and served under both Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao, Wang gained Xi's trust and was put in charge of the CCP's ideological and propaganda machine. As the CCP's chief ideological architect, Wang designed the Xi Jinping thoughts and Great China dream for Xi. Some China experts believe that Wang is the biggest spy the Jiang faction planted in Xi's circle. It was Wang who used the Great China dream to push Xi further to the left, elevating his status to that of Mao. Wang was called the most dangerous man in the world by Hugh Hewitt in a 2021 op-ed in Washington Post. The faction used their access to media, both Chinese and foreign, to develop publicity describing Xi's aspiration to return to the Mao era. They were digging a big hole for him. The little red pocketbook we mentioned earlier is one of their tricks. Xi realized that he was trapped, and starting in 2020, he gradually removed Wang's authority. But it was a little too late, since his image of the second Mao was already established. Come 2022, everything came crashing down on him, and Xi realized that he must get out of the trap fast. People assume that Xi has lost power because they don't see his books in the Xinhua bookstore anymore. He also doesn't always appear on the front page of People's Daily anymore. Instead, he has given front-page publicity to Li Keqiang and Wang Yang, his new allies in the fight against the Jiang faction. My last video is about Xi's relations with Li Keqiang and Western media. You can check it out. Both Li and Wang will play an important role in the new Politburo Standing Committee. Judging from the recent CCP publicity, Wang could be the next premier, or Li Keqiang may continue his third term together with Xi. To ensure his plan will be carried out, Xi is taking down overseas media controlled by the Jiang faction and has also set boundaries for retired senior party leaders to prevent them from meddling. On April 23rd, Duowei or DW News, an overseas Chinese media affiliated with the Jiang faction, published an article suggesting that the CCP should have its Central Committee members elect the country's new leader, implying that it's time to get a new leader to replace Xi. 3 days later, on the 26th, DW News suddenly announced that it had ceased operations. On May 15th, the General Office of the Central Committee issued the opinions on strengthening the party work of retired cadres. The document set 5 rules for party elders. No presumptuous discussion of the central government. No dissemination of negative political statements, no involvement in illegal organizations, listening and following the party, strict restrictions on leaving China. According to Yuan Hongbin, a Chinese law expert now living in Australia, Xi has a list of 5,200 Swiss accounts belonging to senior party officials and their relatives. Xi is using the list as a nuclear weapon in his power struggle. Xi came to power as a compromise between his 2 predecessors in their political fight. Political infighting continues to define Xi's chairmanship. His only way out is to end the communist regime in China, as Gorbachev did in the USSR. Otherwise, he will go down with the party in their fighting. Many people don't like Xi Jinping and want him replaced. But no matter who you put in that position, they are the same. That person will do what the party requires him to do. Individual opinions don't matter in the CCP system. Xi Jinping didn't create the CCP, but the CCP has defined and marked Xi Jinping. The only way for China to have a real reform is to end the communist rule. For those who are new to my channel, I generally release 3 videos a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'm planning a live Q&A event and would like to get your input on the best day and time. Please check the community poll. I recommend the video on how Xi Jinping came to power and who Wang Yang is. He was rumored to be Xi's successor last summer. At this point, it looks like he may be the next premier. Subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you for watching.